So Derek Chauvin was found guilty of all counts. That is a good day for justice. And justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So it's a good day for justice. The jury in Minneapolis convicted Derek Chauvin of all 3 counts: second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter for the killing, the execution of George Floyd, a citizen that Derek Chauvin swore to protect and serve, and instead he ended his life intentionally, cruelly, sadistically, and he's now been convicted and will be going to prison. It's been a long day. I've had the good fortune of having appeared throughout the day on all of NBC's platforms, MSNBC and Peacock and News Now. My head is spinning a little bit, but I wanted to just get a few of my thoughts out on this evening's video, which I promise will be short. Here are a couple of random thoughts about what we have all just been through. First of all, the prosecution tried the Derek Chauvin case expertly. Can I tell you, I tried more than 50 murder cases, including murder-driven RICO cases in the courts of Washington, D.C. I can promise you, I never tried a case as expertly as I saw that prosecution team try the Derek Chauvin case. It made me really proud. And then I see a potential important turning point here. And I see an opportunity to grab hold of the momentum that we will experience as a result of this verdict and ride it. We need to harness it. We need to use it. And we need to get justice trending. And I don't mean trending in a social media sort of way. I mean, when I see a chief of police like Chief Arredondo, the Minneapolis police chief, take the stand and in a strong, definitive, full-throated way say about one of his own officers, he was dead wrong. The force he used was excessive. It was unreasonable. It was deadly force, and it violated not only our policies, but our morals and our values. Can we get more chiefs of police to begin to set that tone? Because then police departments will not attract or endure bad officers, Derek Chauvins. So if we can set that expectation, I think that will be an important step forward in the quest for equal justice for all. And I actually saw an important parallel that played out today. I had the pleasure of being on with Joy Reid, and the President and the Vice President of the United States went live in an address to the American people, and they interrupted me while I was talking with Joy. And here is what Joe Biden said, and I thought back to Chief Arredondo's testimony. Joe Biden said that we must take head-on the racial disparities that exist in policing. He gave full-throated voice to the fact that there are racial disparities in policing. And if we are ever going to realize the dream of equal justice for all, we must take them head on. And when you see a Chief Arredondo not tolerate excessive force in his ranks among his officers, and you have a President of the United States give full voice to racial disparity in policing and announce a determination to take it head on, we have an opportunity to get justice trending. We do. Right? We can get it trending in our police departments, in our prosecution in our prosecutors' offices, in our criminal justice system. We can get it trending in our legislatures. We can get it trending in our schools, in our communities. We can get justice trending if we're determined to do it. And I think we have reached a moment in time where we are determined to do it. Let me take on a couple of other quick topics because I've had a lot of questions about whether the comments by Representative Maxine Waters might actually inject an appellate issue into the Derek Chauvin case. Because now that he's been convicted, he will appeal. Every convicted murderer appeals his or her conviction. Let me not bury the lead. There will be no appellate relief as a result of anything Maxine Waters or anybody else said. Now, I know people got concerned when Judge Cahill got, to use a legal term, pissed at the fact that Maxine Waters had made some comments about this should be a conviction and said some other things. And he called her out and he said members of Congress shouldn't be saying things like that. It's disrespectful of the separation of powers of the co-equal branches of government, the executive and the judiciary. And then he added a smart alecky, whatever members of Congress say to or not, that's not really important. That was a little snarky. But here's the thing. Judge Cahill worked very hard to make sure that the trial was fair to everybody, fair to Derek Chauvin, the defendant, because he has a constitutional right to a fair trial, fair to George Floyd and his family, fair to the people of Minneapolis who are represented, not in a legal sense, but in an actual sense by the prosecutors. Prosecutors represent the interests of the people, of the community. And I think Judge Cahill did a really remarkable job in the way he conducted this trial. And he got angry. You could see it in his face. And then he said something that I wish he hadn't said. He said what Representative Waters said might inject an appellate issue in this case. Not so. Here's why. If Judge Cahill believed that the comments by Representative Waters were impactful, might have prejudiced Derek Chauvin's right to a fair trial, he would have taken up the issue. And what he would have done is hold a hearing to make sure that anything she said didn't impact the ability of the jurors to continue to sit in the case and fairly decide the case based only on the evidence introduced in court, not any of this extraneous, the media accounts or the chatter. So because he decided that what she said didn't impact the case, he didn't hold a hearing, he denied the motion for a mistrial, but he gratuitously said, maybe there's an appellate issue there. There's not. Because if there was a legitimate issue, Judge Cahill would have taken it up and remedied it right then and right there, which is not hard to do. You just conduct some individual voir dire, some questioning of the jurors. You make sure they haven't had any outside media information come to their attention by Representative Waters or anybody else. And if they did overhear something, then they have to affirm that they can put it out of their minds and not let it enter into their deliberations. So if there was a legitimate problem, it would have been dealt with. There's not, it wasn't, it won't be an issue on appeal. The way this case was tried and the way it was presided over by Judge Cahill, which I think was pretty near flawless. I could quibble with a couple of his evidentiary rulings, but I see everything through the lens of a former career prosecutor. I think it was pretty flawless. I don't think there will be any significant appellate issues that will undermine Derek Chauvin's conviction. What I'm going to talk about tomorrow is what Derek Chauvin is facing on the sentencing front, because there's some interesting issues that will go into that. But I just wanted to try to get my thoughts down in real time about how the trial played out and how today has actually brought some justice to the Floyd family, to the citizens of Minneapolis, to the citizens of our nation, to the world, because the world was watching. And for the jury to take only a handful of hours to resoundingly announce guilty, guilty, guilty 3 times is a beautiful, just result. And justice matters. As always, folks, please stay safe. Please stay tuned. And I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.